Well, it's a great day to be a Sycamore, and that's what I told every young man this morning and their families when I saw their bright eyes on the Zoom call. So, wonderful day. All 14 high school players signed today. It's really the first phase of recruiting that you have, and then for us now we'll move on to the next phase. And the next phase is obviously bringing in guys that are going to transfer in here, but it always started with recruiting the Wabash Valley. We got our quarterback from Terre Haute South, Brady Wilson. We then went into the state of Indiana and took 7 total, and then we went into the state of Illinois and took 4. We also went into a surrounding state of Missouri, the St. Louis area, took 3, so that gave us 14 young men to join this great family in Sycamore Nation.
Okay, questions?
What did you see in these 14 players?
Well, I think it starts number one with character, and that's always what you want to add to this culture that we have here at Indiana State. Number one, that they're going to be great students and that they're going to be great representations not only from their family but here at Indiana State, and that they're a good fit. And this recruiting never stops. These young men have been here a number of times, some 3, 4, 5 times, and when they came here, this was a natural fit. And a lot of these guys made their decision well before today.
And when they visited, or when you talked to them on Zoom or on the phone, I guess what was your message to them?
Today, well, number one, it's great to wake up being a Sycamore, and just really happy to join the Sycamore family. It's always nice to know where your future lies, that you're going to a place that, number one, you're going to be academically successful, number 2, that you're going to be athletically successful, and number 3, you're going to be around a lot of like-minded young men and have a great social experience.
When you were trying to get them to sign with Indiana State, what was the coaching staff's pitch?
Well, I think anything, people sell themselves, People make a place. We say it all the time here at Indiana State. Our best ambassador are our players. And when they get around our coaches, they get around our players, they're sold. And that's what you want to be around, because it's a culture. And we've got a great family culture, and that's really strong here in our program. When you see what a strong class that we have that's leaving Indiana State, I can't say enough about this senior class that's departing. And they've done an awful lot to leave this program in great shape. And then we got a new group coming in.
How do you see these new 14 players fitting in on the field?
Well, I think it starts up front. That's where we really made our focus. We signed 14 young men. Half of those are linemen. And so beefing up the offensive line, it's always going to start up front, because you can develop those guys. You bring in an offensive tackle, maybe he's 250 pounds right now, well, then all of a sudden he's 320. But you can build those guys up, and of course then we hit other positions throughout.
And what does it mean to have local kids like? What does it mean to have what does it mean to have kids like Brady Wilson?
Well, I think it's great for the community. When you have a young man like Brady Wilson, or you have guys like Dakota Caton or Joey Shue, I can keep going on and on. Griffin Comer, those type of young men. They represent not only his community, but this is a special place for them. They grew up Sycamore fans. It means an awful lot to them. That's where it always starts. That's where our recruiting will begin. And then we'll go to the state of Indiana, the surrounding states, and then wherever we need to go after that, Derek.
And you're probably going up against IU and stuff, like you got a kid from Indy. So how do you really try to make them realize that this is the best spot for them?
Well, I think, we've got a great reputation here, and that's been built over time, well before I was here, that the young men that are going to come to Indiana State are going to get a meaningful degree. It's not a 4-year decision, it's the next 40 years. But we've got a great contingent of young men from the Indianapolis area, and we just added to that today.
What's the most exciting thing about this?
Well, I'm a parent first, and I know firsthand what it's like and what this day means like as a parent. And just see the excitement in the families, the parents, and what it means, because it's nothing more, there's nothing more reassuring knowing that your son or daughter are going to be in good hands for the next 4 or 5 years, and that's what Indiana State provides.
Thank you.
signing day obviously moved up a couple weeks from years past where it was later in December. How did that impact you and your staff as to how you approached getting this class together?
Well, I think the staff's done a great job. I think, it never stops. Recruiting is year round. And that's okay, and it's always going to start with that. But, just building up to that, Seth, I think is really huge because it comes on you really quick. You go from the last game of the season, you have a Thanksgiving break where the university closes, and then you start into a dead period, and all of a sudden today. And then we're back on the road on Friday, and you just got to be able to shuffle around a little bit, but it all works in the end.
Talk about recruiting, then you talk about strengths in your class. Obviously, you still have some holes that you need to fill. What are some of the points of emphasis that you're still looking for as you continue the recruiting process into that next phase?
Well, I think it's still going to be up front. When you look at the guys that we lost, you can never have enough offense and defensive linemen. So we'll continue to look for those guys in the next phase of recruiting. And then more so in the skill positions, at the cornerback, safety positions on defense, and then at the wide receiver position, because that's where we lost the most.
Do you get to take a breath, catch a breath after this, or is it right back out on the road again, starting that next phase?
Well, it just starts back up. We've already planned ahead, but we've been planning where we go next for a long time. It was to get to today, celebrate today, and get ready to move on to the next part of this recruiting phase.